Hey, this is your gear coach O, the founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated, where I help you to build on and to get your dreams out of your head into your life. Good evening, Robert. Thank you so much for joining. I am going to invite a few people, and if you would do the same, that would be absolutely wonderful. Go ahead and invite a few of your friends, your family. Go ahead and invite some of your haters and your naysayers. Go ahead and get everybody on the line. Good evening, Shanti. Thank you so much for joining. So I am just getting on here today because today was my me day. So I started out kind of early. So here I am. My hair feel like it is a little wet and it's kind of heavy. But anyway, evening, Mary. Good evening, Victoria. Good evening, Toshiba. Thank you so much for joining. So we're going to talk and get them on the line. And then we're going to get started. We're not going to be on here long. I pray that you all had an amazing Christmas. After Christmas, I know some people may have did a little after Christmas shopping. You know how we do it. Go get our little paper and go get our Christmas boxes and our Christmas bags for the next year for the 50 off. So yeah. So you see what my question is. Are you preparing? Are you planning for 2020? Don't go into a new year with the same old mess. I'm going to say it again. Do not go into 2020, into a new year, a new decade with the same old mess. Talking about the same stuff, working with the same people that are draining you, that are unproductive, not value added. Good evening, Merlin. Thank you so much for joining. So are you preparing? Are you preparing? Are you preparing? I have my little book here. Even when I get off of here, I will be, getting these plans, continuing on these plans. Do not let December the 31st catch you with your pants down, catch you with your plans incomplete, thinking, okay, it's going to be a new year and I'm going to have a new start. Nothing is going to be new about your new year other than the numbers on your calendar. If you don't have a new mindset, if you don't have a mindset shift, if you don't transform, if you don't have a transformation of what you're currently thinking to something different, you're going to have an about face, a turnaround. You're going to have a switcheroo. Something different is going to have to be. Don't take old mess into your new year, your new decade. It's time to do something different. But you got to prepare for it. You have to prep for it. You have to draw it out. You have to write it out. You have to plan it out. Get it out of your head and get it onto paper. Get it out of your head and get it on paper. Do not go into 2020 unprepared. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Have you taken the time to write out what is it that you want your revenue goals to be? What is it that you want your spiritual goals to be? What do you want your relationship goals to be? What do you want your business goals to be? You have to write all this stuff out, because if you don't write it out, how will you know if you're on track, if you have exceeded? If you're behind, you got to write it out. Anything that is out of sight is out of mind. And when it's out of sight and out of mind, you're not going to do anything toward it. You're not going to do anything on it. You're not going to do anything relating to it. You got to write it down. I know you're saying it's in my head. It's in my head. Get it out of your head. Get it on paper. Get it out of your head and get it on paper. You don't have to have a fancy planner. You can get you a composition notebook. You can get you a wide rule tablet or a college rule tablet. You can get you some paper, some white paper. I don't care what you write it on. Write down your Thank you so much, Robert. Write it down. So I want to know, are you planning? And nobody answered the question. Are you planning? Are you planning? Are you planning? Are you planning? Or are you planning? You know, they say that if when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. When you fail, you plan to fail. When you don't have your stuff written down, and a lot of people, we don't want to write it down because we don't want to have anything to compare to say that we didn't do what we said we was going to do. But that's okay. Great, Robert. Great, Toshiba. Thank you so much for joining. You got to have it down. You got to be ready. And we're going to, I know we were scheduled at January the 18th. It was originally supposed to be from 3 to 5. I'm actually going to move that up. That's what I'm doing now. Great, Shanti. We're going to move it up. It's still going to be on the 18th, but the time will be different. So if you have enrolled in the $19 master class, where we're going to be talking about finances, we're going to be talking about budgets, we're going to be talking about emergency funds, we're going to be talking about insurance policies, we're going to be talking about financial wealth, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff, okay? We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. We're going to move that time up. It will be more of a morning session. Good morning, Kenya. Good evening, Kenya. Thank you so much for joining. It'll be more of a morning session because it has come up that I have something to do that evening. So we're going to do it on the 18th. It'll be January the 18th that morning. And I'm thinking we'll do it from 9 a.m. to 11. 9 to 11 on January the 18th will be the $19 mastermind. And it's going to be amazing, right? So now, back to what I was saying. Are you planning? Are you planning? Because if you're not planning, you're planning to fail. If you are not planning, you have to have it written down. You got to know what you want. When you know what you want, can't nobody stop you from getting it. When you know what you want, listen, let me tell you something. The brain does not care what you tell it. The brain is going to tell yourself what you want. When you tell your brain what it is that you want, guess what? Your brain is going to start working on your behalf. But the bipolar opposite is true too. When you say that you're not enough, when you say that you're a failure, when you say that you can't do it, when you say that it's not possible, guess what? You have to speak positive. You have to think it and you have to speak it even when you don't see it. And it's not a lie. You're walking and you're acting and you're moving by faith. Good evening, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining. You are moving, operating, and acting by faith. So you're not lying, but you're affirming. You are proclaiming. You are being proactive in the things that you want. So you have to be very, 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 very careful of the words that you speak over your life. You have to speak wealth and health and prosperity. You have to speak abundance over yourself. Don't speak defeat. Don't speak failure. You have to speak success. You speak the things that you want. Don't worry about how they're going to happen. Don't worry about when they're going to happen, but you have to speak those things as if they were. You have to speak those things as if they. So stop thinking about what you don't have and start thinking and speaking about the things that you want. If you want to get them, speak them. If you speak it, you will begin to see it. You hear me? When you speak it, you will begin to see it. Even today, two or three places I went. Wherever I want to park, I park. I went into Texas Roadhouse today. They had people that was waiting. It was 2 people in front of me, and it was 2 people with me. It was me and one other person. I told myself, I said I would not sit over in that room. I would get immediate seating. And when I came up, I got immediate seating. And they just had told 2 people in front of me with 2 that it'll be a few minutes before they get seated. That may be small to somebody, but that's big to me because I told myself that I would not sit in the waiting area and that I would get immediate seating. And guess what? The spot that I had, the restaurant was full, but when I got there, I pulled up into the front space. I said it was waiting for me. They knew I was coming, and they told nobody not to park there because I was coming. That may sound crazy for some people, but it's real. It is real. When you speak it, you don't go there thinking, well, I'm not going to find a parking spot. There's not going to be any seats. It's not going to be enough food for me. If you don't think that there's going to be seats, and if you don't think there's going to be room, and if you don't think that there is going to be food, why would you go there? So you got to stop. You have your success and your desires. You can self-sabotage the desires that you have by the words that you speak. Guess what? The words that you speak become your reality. And if you change the words that you speak, your reality will change. You don't have to live a defeated life. You don't have to live a life of pain, suffering. You don't have to live this life of agony. No, you can live a life of abundance. You can live a life of blessings. You can live a life of joy. You can live a life of peace. You can live a life of happiness. You can do it by the thoughts that you think and the words that you speak. And where's your belief? My book says that faith comes by hearing, and it comes by hearing the word of God, and that we should walk by faith and not by sight. So whatever it is that I want, I have it. Why? Because I say it. Good evening, Rita. Thank you so much for joining. I say it. You know, a lot of people live a defeated life because they're speaking defeat over themselves. They're speaking failure over themselves. They tell themselves they don't have the money, that they don't have friends, that don't nobody like them. Nobody's going to buy what I'm selling. Nobody's going to come into my business. Nobody's going to support me. Nobody. So when you speak those things out, the universe, as we like to refer to, makes sure those things happen, because your brain do not care if it is fact or fiction. Your brain don't care if it's true or false, but I do know your brain want to do whatever you tell it. I tell myself, I am the supervisor of my brain, and its job is to do what I tell it. My brain's job is to do whatever I tell it. So it's how I feel about a situation that makes my situation be the way that it is. I can take a good situation and feel bad about it. I can take a bad situation and feel good about it. But I can take any situation and change the way that I feel about it. It may be bad, but I don't have to feel bad about it. See, that's where a lot of people get it mixed up at. They figure it's a bad situation and you got to think bad about it. No, you can ask, okay, what is the lesson in this? What am I supposed to learn from this? What am I going to gain from this? Where am I going to grow in? You can ask those different sorts of types of questions, and you can find the value in the bad thing that has happened. And as I've told you before, never name it bad. You say good thing, bad thing. Who knows? Good thing, bad thing. So every time a person walk out of your life, it's not always a bad thing, because sometimes that's a good thing because there was a problem. You know, so you got to say, okay, good thing, bad thing. Who knows? What is it that I can learn from this? Where can I grow from this? What can I use from this? How can this help me? Good thing, bad. So you got to look at your dreams. You have to look at your goals. You have to look at your desires, and you have to start speaking. Speak to where you're going. Don't speak to where you came from. And you don't even have to speak in the tense of where you are, because where you are may not be where you want to be. Change how you feel about it. Change how you think about it. And you will literally change your life. Live a defeated life. You do not have to live a life of defeat. You don't have to live a life of losses, a life of failures. You can speak success. You will start to walk success. You will start to live success, and start to love success. But if you're always saying what you don't have and what you can't do and who you're not going to be and what you can't achieve, you will make those things be. But when you begin to say that I can do it, I can get over this, I can get through this, there is light. somewhere, if I just continue to look for the light, I have to always be in darkness. You know, when it's cloudy, you know that someday the sun is going to surely shine. The sun is going to shine. So you got to tell yourself, there is light, there is light, there is light somewhere. There is deliverance. Speak those things over yourself. You don't have to live this defeated life to feel like, you know, all hope is gone, that it's not possible, that you will never do it. No, it's not now that you're doing it. But you got to say that, you know, this is not forever. I am not going to forever be down. I'm not going to forever be broke. I'm not going to forever be sick. I'm not going to forever not. I'm healed. That I am healed. By his stripes, I am healed. I am delivered. I am set free. That, you know, I may have a few issues now, but this is not where I'm going to always be. I thank God for his grace. I thank God for his mercy. You got to speak life over yourself. Speak life. Speak life. So I hope that you are working on your 2020 plans. Please, 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 please don't go into 2020 with that same old mess. Please don't go into 2020 with those same old stale plans that you did not do anything with in 2019. If you need to tweak them, if you need to rewrite them, to rethink them, you need to revamp them. Do what you gotta do, but you're gonna have to be committed. You're gonna have to be dedicated. You're gonna have to have some audacity. You're gonna have to have some tenacity. You're gonna have to have all of that perseverance. You're gonna have to be determined, because when you say you're gonna live a certain life and you're gonna do certain things and you're gonna walk certain stuff out, people are gonna stop you. You're gonna have some roadblocks. You're gonna have some obstacles. You're gonna have some haters. You're gonna have some naysayers, but you gotta say, I'm not stopping until I get there. I'm not stopping until I get there. I'm not stopping until I get there. I would not stop pursuing my dream until my dream. I will write down my plan, write the vision, make it plain, write the vision and make it plain. Where there is no plan, where there is no vision, where there is no plan, where there is no vision, the people, they perish. You got to know where you are. You got to know where you are. You got to know where you are. You got to know where you want to go. You got to know where you are. You got to know where you want to go. And you got to figure out how to get there. You got to figure out how you get there. So plan for 2020. Plan that your 2020 will be different than any other year. Plan that this next decade. And when you think about it, think about in the next decade, you will be in another age bracket. I know you may be in your 20s now, but in the next 10 years, you're going to be in your 30s. You may be in your 30s now, but in the next 10 years, you're going to be in your 40s. You may be in your 40s now, but in the next 10 years, you'll be in your 50s. You may be in your 50s now, but in the next 10 years, you're going to be in your 60s. You may be 60 now, but in the next 10 years, you're going to be in your 70s. You may be 70 now, but in the next 10 years, you're going to be in your 80s. You may be 80 now, but in the next 10 years, you're going to be in your 90s. So you want to think about your plans as if you was in that next 10 years of your life. You know, you want to think about your plan that you may be in your 30s now, but you will be in your 40s in the next 10 years. Where is it that you want to be in the next 10 years? And I know without a shadow of a doubt, I know in the next 10 years, you do not want to be where you are today. You're going to have to do something different. You're going to have to think different. You're going to have to walk different. You're going to have to act different. You're going to have some different people in your life. You're going to have to let go some people. You're going to have to help some people. You're going to have to cut some folks off, okay? You need to think about the next decade of your life. Oh, it's amazing. It is amazing. When you think about the distance that you have gone, when you think about where you came from, when you think about where you are, and when you think about where you want to be, oh my God, it is an eye-opener. Oh my God, it is so exciting. Oh my God, it gives you so much energy to say, look, I've come from a mighty long ways, but I'm not where I used to be, but I'm not where I need to be. So my plans, my business plans, my finance plans, my relationship plan, my personal plans, they need to be on paper. They need to be on paper so I can live the life of my dreams and not just live my life. You need to live the life of your dreams. Just don't live a life where you exist, where you wake up, you go to sleep, you eat. You wake up, you go to sleep, you eat. You wake up, you go to sleep, you eat. You eat, you go to sleep, you wake up, you eat, you go to sleep, you wake up. You need to know that there is a purpose for your life. It was a purpose for your life before you came. It was a purpose before your life before you realized it. There's a purpose for your life before you was created. You need to get your plans together for 2020 and let's rock this thing out. I'm super excited. Everything is coming. Everything is going well. I have had an amazing 2019 and I'm going to have a super duper duper amazing 2020. Nothing and nobody should stop you from living the life of your dream. Nothing and nobody should stop you from living the life of your dream. So when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Good evening, Camelia. Thank you so much for joining. So I pray that you will get your pens out, get your paper out, get your mind open, get yourself in a corner where you're able to think, what is it that I really want? 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 And I know there is something that you want. I know there is somebody that you want to help. I know that there's a gift that you have that is not being stirred, that is not being used. You put it on the shelf. Me too. My 2020 is going to be grand. Love it. There is something inside of you that in 2020, you need to let it out. You need to push that baby out. You need to push that dream out. You need to push that business out. You need to push that book out. You need to push that relationship out. You need to push that body out. You need to push it. 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 Push it out. Push it out. It's time for us to push. We're going to push past our past. We're going to push past our pain, but we're going to push into our purpose. We're going to push into our purpose. We're pushing past our past and we're pushing past our pain, but we're going to push towards our purpose. 2020 is going to be the year pushing toward our purpose where we're going to be expectant. We're going to be engaged. We're going to be empowered. We're going to be inspired. See, we're not going to be able to approach 2020 like no other year. This is the only time in our life that we will experience a repeat year. Because see, a lot of us, we wasn't here in 1919. So 2020 is going to be the life of your dreams. Good afternoon, Abby. Thank you so much for joining. 2020 is the first year of a repeat year that we've had an opportunity to experience. Because again, we was not here in 1919 and we will not be here in 2121. So we have an opportunity in 2020 for us to have an amazing, 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 amazing year. Good afternoon, Nana. Thank you so much for joining. So again, let's talk this thing out. Get your pen out, get your paper out, and think about your categories that you want to, that you want to have a vision and a plan for. You want to have a vision for your finances. You want to have a vision for your family. You want to have a vision for your future. You want to have a vision for your spirituality. You want to have a vision for relationship. You want to have a vision for your business. You need to map this stuff out because out of sight, it is out of mind. And we forget we're human. Write it down. Put a plan to it. When I get off of here, I've already started. I've done 2 things. I've done 4. Whoop. The second thing that I did a reflection of the last decade, right? Good evening, Ollie. Thank you so much for joining. So the first places I visited, some of the people that I helped, some of the books that I read, some of the books that I wrote, some of the events that I attended, some of the events that I put on, some of the prayers that I prayed, some of the songs that I sang, some things that I learned, some things that I forgot, some people that I met, some people that I lost. So 2019, I did a reflection. Good evening, Nikita. Thank you so much for joining. And then I did a 10-year, the last decade reflection. Over that time, I years, I bought and paid for my first home. And over that time, I became really serious. You know, what I'm going to do in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, all of 2020. And then my next plan is, what are my goals for the next 10 years, for the next decade? This is important. And you can't not have time to do it. You cannot be so busy doing stuff that's not value added, productive, and making you no money, but you're doing things that is depressing. You're doing stressing you out. You're doing things that's having you worried. You're doing things that makes no sense. You're doing things that's not putting a smile on your face. You're doing things that just to be doing things. Good evening, Bruce. Thank you so much for joining. So you need to know, what are your goals for your life? Why are you here? What do you bring to the earth? What difference are you making in the world? Whose life are you impacting? What changes are you making? What transformation have you experienced? You got to know these things. And when we don't get it down, we're simply existing. And do you know it is not good enough for you for now and for 2020? You want to make sure, are you relevant? Ask yourself, am I relevant, or do I think just because I exist, I'm relevant? You're not relevant just because you're the wife, or you're the husband, or you're the boss, or you're the boss chick. You're not relevant. You have to be relevant where you're making a difference, an impact, where you're giving individuals an experience. Wife, or you need to be my husband. You need to be making a difference. Because see, when you're just the wife and the husband, the pastor, when you just you're not making an impact, because there's no ownership there. When we have the you need to be the person that is making a difference. And when you're not relevant, that is not a good thing. Because see, when you're the wife, you feel like you don't have to take care of yourself. There's things that you don't have to do. We have to plan for our next year. Please, 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 don't go into 2019 with the same old mess that you had in 2020, with the same mess that you had going on in 2019. If you was messy in 2020, if you know admit to it, ask for forgiveness, get out your paper, take a few minutes, write down some stuff. You don't have to write a book. All you got to do is write down your plans. If you want to do speaking engagement, if you want to make X amount of dollars, if you want to have X number of customers, if you want to go to X amount of plans, it don't have to be something long and so complicated and deep. You can just make it simple, make it plain, but make it visible, because out of sight, it is truly out of mind. So I hope that I've said something to get you started, get your furnace burning, to ignite you, to write out your plans, write out your dream, and then for you to start speaking them things over your life. Speak them over your life. Speak them over your life. Speak them over your life. Good evening, Christine. Thank you so much for joining. When you write it down, get audible, be verbal, where you can hear it, because faith comes by hearing, and it comes by hearing the word of God. Add the word of God into your plans so that you can do it God's way. And when we do things God's way, our plans, they will work. They will work. When we do things God's way, we can look forward to our plans working. So I'm super excited about 2020. I am getting ready to go in here and continue to work on my own plans, to my own reflections. And that's why I like to take a lot of pictures, because it takes a lot of that head workout. I can just go look through my pictures and write as I go, look and write as I go. And so I'll show you one thing that because I wanted to, and I think I talked about this on yesterday, but I wanted to reflect on some of the places that I had the opportunity to travel. Those places. Good evening, Sherry. Thank you so much for joining. In 2019, I was able to go to Jacksonville, Florida. I went to Morrow, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. I went to Houston, Texas. I went to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Little Rock, Arkansas, Newark, New Jersey, Hot Springs, Arkansas, Hammond, Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana, Kansas City, St. Louis, Missouri, and different places in Mississippi and Tennessee. But see, if I didn't write all that down, and if I didn't have have the pictures, I wouldn't remember all of that. And that's what just some of the things, and some of the other things, the networking events that I attended, the entrepreneur, the expo, the movies that I went to see, and the different things that I did. And for some people, they may feel like that is not even important. But I'm telling you, as you get older, you forget a lot of things. And then you forget, sometimes we'll feel like, well, I don't have this, and I didn't get a chance to do this, and I didn't get this, and I didn't have that. But when you reflect back over your life and you look things over, you will look and see how good God has really been to you. Things you have overlooked, things that you have missed, things that you have forgotten, some things that you might not even appreciate, or you didn't realize how valuable they was when they were done, and you just looked at it and you just it and brushed it under the rug. But no, you have to think about those things, reflect, and then you want to be better. You want to be better next year than you was this year. So in order for you to have something to compare that to, you got to know what that is. You got to know the numbers. How are you going to improve your numbers when you don't know what your numbers are? They tell you that at the doctor's office. You need to know what your cholesterol numbers is. You need to know what your blood pressure is. You need to know what your sugar, all these different sorts of types of things that they measure at the doctor. If they don't know your numbers, how would they know if it's too high, if it's too low, if it's right where it needs to be? You need to know your numbers. You need to know your numbers in your business. How are you going to know if you're making a profit if you don't know what you're spending? Hello. If you don't know what you're spending and you thinking that you're doing this extravagant thing and you're in business. Oh, I'm in business. Yes, I'm in business. You in business, but you don't even know what you're making. And when you do the math, you will find that you're losing more money than you making. And so does even make sense to continue. It's either I change what I'm offering, change what I'm selling, change what I'm doing, change how I'm getting it or whatever. But if I'm not making a profit, why am I doing it? You got to know the numbers. You got to know the numbers in your savings account. You need to know the numbers of your bills. You need a budget. When you don't have a budget, you don't know what's coming in. You don't know what's going out. You don't have a savings account. You don't have an emergency fund. You need to know the numbers. The numbers are important. The plan is important. And I'm going to say this one more time. This will be the third time. To fail. So do you have a plan for 2020? It's time for us to take action. You can do it. And we have a campaign that's coming up soon. I'm excited about it. I am excited about it. I'm excited about it. We did our Get Stuff Done 7 days. And we're getting ready to have a full-fledged, campaign on taking action and getting some stuff done, because it's going to be a movement. A lot of people don't think they can, but you can do it. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are. Take action now, not later. Yes. If you're new to me, I am Coach O, the founder and CEO of Action Speaks, where I help you to build unshakable confidence, stop procrastinating, and to get your dreams out of your head into your life. God bless you, and I pray that you have an amazing day. Bye.